Howdy friends and family, thank you so much for joining me. This is day 9 in the series that I'm doing called It Is Well, and today we are starting to look at being thankful in the bad times by looking at what Jesus did for us. And so we have been looking at this thanksgiving and praise when things are going well, and Spafford in the next line in the song starts to move on to the other side of praise in all circumstances. He starts looking at the bad times. He says, when sorrows like sea billows roll. And so he is talking about when things are going bad, it is still well with his soul. And this is where we find Spafford when he's writing this song, because if you'll remember back to the very first devotional, we looked at how Spafford had just lost his fortune and he'd just lost all of his children. And he's standing on the boat where his children died, and he is seeing and declaring, even in these bad times, when these sorrows like sea billows are rolling, it is still well with his soul. And this declaration of praise and thanksgiving when things are bad might not be something that is easy to do. It can be very hard to find good things when things are going bad. And so for these next couple of devotionals, we're going to look at some things that you can always be thankful for. Even when it seems like everything is going wrong, these are some things that you can find to be thankful for. And like I said earlier, we are going to start by looking at what Jesus has done for us. 1 Peter 3, verses 18 through 22 says, "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the Spirit, in which he went and proclaimed to the spirits in prison, because they formerly did not obey, when God's patience waited in the days of Noah while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is, 8 persons, were brought safely through water. Baptism, which corresponds to this, now saves you, not as a removal of dirt from the body, but as an appeal to God for a good conscience, through the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who has gone into heaven and is at the right hand of God, with angels, authorities, and powers having been subjected to him." So this little portion of 1 Peter encapsulates kind of what Jesus has done. And really the main thing that it says he's done is that he has created a way for us to be with God. If you remember back a couple days ago, we talked about how we cannot be with God because we have sinned. But here we're being told that Jesus makes a way. And he did this by taking our place. It says it was the righteous for the unrighteous, Jesus for us, and he suffered and died so that we can be with God. And this is something that as believers we can always be thankful for, because bad circumstances on earth do not change this. This is how Spafford was able to say that when sorrows like sea billows roll, it is well with my soul, because he knew that Jesus had made a way for him. And that even though many of his earthly blessings were gone, this fact remained, that Jesus had still made a way, and that way was still open to him. And so this is something that you can be thankful for, even when you're in the bad. That Jesus took your place, died for you, and has made a way for you by creating a clear conscience toward God. That means that when we stand before God, we aren't going to have to sit there and listen to him list all of the sins off that we did, because we will have a clear conscience before God. Our sins have been paid for. So if you are in a bad place right now, if the circumstances on earth are not good for you, remember this, that Jesus died for you and made a way for you to be with God forever. And if you can't find anything else to be thankful for, be thankful for this. This week we are going to be working on memorizing Psalm 32, verses 1 through 2. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.